Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos, and welcome to This Week in Mythic Plus. This week's affixes are Tyrannical, Bolstering, Volcanic, and of course Thundering. It is the final week of the season as well, the final week of Thundering, Tyrannical, I guess not the final week of Tyrannical, the final week of Bolstering, giving mobs health, all that sort of stuff, unless there's changes on the PTR or stuff like that between those going live and stuff. In terms of difficulty of the week, it is quite a bad week for the very highest keys that you could be doing. If you're playing pretty much at any level where your DPS, where you're feeling like, oh, there's a DPS check against this timer, the bolstering combo with Tyrannical is pretty nasty because bolstering inhibits how quickly you can get your pulls done. It inhibits your ability to chain pull, and if do so efficiently. And then Tyrannical says, okay, well, you can't spend all your time messing around with trash, right? Because you've got 7-minute boss fights that you have to deal with as well. So that combination of affixes is pretty harsh for the very highest level of keys. It can be somewhat harsher in the lower level of keys, although it depends. There are some groups that, like to pull dungeons pretty much one group at a time and just do a bunch of damage to them and kill the bosses. And if you're playing in a group like that, this week can actually be pretty great because bolstering is not going to affect you too much, and you're going to be able to just cut through without any other affixes really impacting you. So especially if you're going for something like 2000 score, 2500 score, something like that, 2400 score, I don't know, getting all the dungeon portals, getting those, last chance to get some of these dungeon portals before they rotate out, and we don't know when they'll be in an M+ season again. So if you're looking for stuff like that, this is actually, it's not a bad week to do that by any stretch, and I encourage you to do that if you're close to, if you think you could almost do it. I think you can do it, and you can get out there and get your keys done, because yeah, Volcanic, pretty low impact, right? The bolstering affix, it slows you down in some pulls, but it's actually not that bad even anymore. Next week it's going to be like, or starting next season, it's going to be even less time impactful, but oftentimes it's just fine to get a little bit of bolstering stacks on stuff. You can pull mobs onto bosses still in some dungeons and save a bunch of time by doing that. Although, if you're just looking for 2000 score, 2400 score, this is a good week to just slow and steady, wins the race, don't wipe, no affixes that make you more likely to wipe, right? And just kill the dungeon cleanly and without wipes and get your score that way. However, if you are looking to get the M+ title, I suspect that if you're below the current threshold, this week it's going to be pretty tough to do the keys at the level that are going to be required to push your score above that threshold. So that's going to be a lot harder. You're going to need some aggressive anti-bolstering pulls to try and catch us up. Again, trash onto bosses is the big way to save time on bolstering weeks because the bosses don't get bolstered. But even still, yeah, that's nasty on Tyrannical, right? Tyrannical bosses with even a little bit of extra damage from a trash pull can be just very lethal. So in terms of mod packs, as longtime fans of this series will know, every week, and this is the last week I'll get to do this until they bring back Algathar Academy, I like to remind everybody that these territorial eagles do trigger on-death affixes. So when you get to this area, they will trigger bolstering. It actually doesn't matter too much on this first pack, but on the second and third pack, really try and avoid over bolstering the alpha eagles. It's not a big deal if it happens a little bit, but if you can avoid it, that's a really good way to save 20-25 seconds in this area. If you can have these alpha eagles be the first ones to die rather than the territorial eagles. All right, well, that's going to be it for this season of This Week in Mythic Plus. Hope you've enjoyed these videos. I intend to create some M+ content early into the season next season, but I can't say for sure when this particular series is going to return, because it's going to be probably a pretty busy time for me at the start of the new patch. I will try to get these or other useful videos. I'm going to try and make good videos whenever I can think of them, but this series may go on a brief hiatus. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.